Big plans for this week? Well, let's chat with your dream team to see how we can enhance those plans. Hello, Stacy the Blackfeather Intuitive. Welcome to another weekly oracle reading for the week of October 11th. Hoping you are doing just so fantastic. Thanks so much for showing up. Today we are pulling cards from a brand new deck to me. It is the Witch's Tarot from Ellen Dugan. And let's call in all the archangels, ascended masters, highest guides, light beings, creature teachers, loved ones in spirit. Oh, and those elementals. Come on into this space to give us the clarity and guidance that we need to move forward with confidence this week in whatever our plans are. Loving that. All right, so let's see what this new deck, oh, there we go. Card is popping out. Oh, I love it. One of my favorite cards. We have the Queen of Cups. And this week I'm hearing that for us in terms of the intention I just set, Queen of Cups is a really significant card because it's all about owning your psychic ability, standing confidently and firmly in your emotional state, recognizing that there is structure and organization and delegation that is required at times to keep ourselves emotionally regulated. You know, how often have you felt overcome with emotion? And sometimes when we are overcome with emotion, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but it doesn't always mean that we are, I want to say, thinking clearly. It doesn't always mean that we are going to respond to a situation rather than react. Sometimes it does mean that we are responding rather than reacting, but more often than not, it is that we are in the feels, we don't know what to do with it, and that is kind of a triggering response or a response where we are not as conscious of our decisions and choices. Queen of Cups comes in and says, I got your back, I got you covered. I am the ocean of emotion. It is not that you are being affected by your ocean of emotion, it's that you are the ocean of emotion. And that means that you can weather whatever storms and tides show up. Maybe you're creating the storm. Maybe you are in the middle of a storm and you recognize, oh, wait a second. This is something that someone else has contributed, and I don't necessarily have to be a part of the storm. I can, because I'm the ocean, I can choose to calm the waves. I can choose to go to a different part of the ocean where there isn't a storm. I can choose to create a raft and ride on top of the storm rather than riding underneath. I can choose to dive in deeper in order to get to the heart of the matter. And rather than dealing with all of this other, sort of chaos around it, what is the heart of the matter? So the Queen of Cups really, I want to say, gives you a lot of structure, internal structure, to not be overtaken by the ocean of emotion. It's recognizing that, no, this is within me. This is a storm that I can create, and I can also stop it. I can also change my response to what is showing up, because ultimately it is within me. And this imagery is really cool. She's sitting on a beautiful beach, beautiful sunshiny day. She's got these gorgeous rose petals and little rose buds that are sort of trailing out on the, sort of on the sea here, and she's drinking from a cup. She's sitting in a shell and she's drinking from a cup. She's choosing peace. So the ocean is not calm necessarily. There's a lot of waves in the background here, but she's choosing to view it all as perfect. It's all a part of what exactly everything needs to be. And she's not getting too worked up about it. And those white roses, I feel like that's spirit coming into physical form. That is the divine saying, tangibly speaking, here, look at the beauty. Look at the beauty that is all around you. None of this can happen. Roses can't grow and bloom without water, right? It's absolutely crucial this week that each of us chooses calm within ourselves in order to be able to interact with the world. I'm hearing that the challenge for each of us this week is to, before making any kind of decision or interacting, it's taking a moment to see where your ocean of emotion is at and to decide where you need to be with it. Do I need to calm myself within it? Do I need to dive deeper to get to the heart of it so that I don't have to focus on all of this other stuff? Do I need to build a raft and float on top of it for a while? What do I need to do before I step into this interaction? So I feel like we all need to connect to more internal peace, or to create internal peace. That is where the structure comes from. That is where the organization comes from. And yes, this is a card of the psychic. This is definitely a card of knowing what's coming before it comes. Here's the key. Don't get freaked out about it. When you know that it's coming, even if it's something that you're not necessarily looking forward to, there's some higher waves here. I'm not necessarily looking forward to those higher waves, but I'm getting a foreknowledge of it, so how can I prepare? How can I be best prepared for when those waves arise? It's not that I'm going to stop the waves. That's, resistance. What do I say? What we resist persists. Resistance is not the key. It's preparation. I'm receiving this information for a reason. How can I use this information to help me? To help me prepare, to help me feel more confident in when these things show up. That removes the anxiety and empowers us at that soul level. And the psychic is coming through to give us a heads up. Interesting. All right, our oracle reading for the week, we are pulling from Stephen D. Farmer's Earth Magic. And I thought this would be a nice compliment today. Milky Way perspective. So here we are, we have water, and now we have air. We have sort of the cosmic energy. And what do we think when we are above the water looking down into it? It's a different perspective than when we are in it. And I feel like that's significant. The Queen of Cups is saying, yes, have some perspective. She's sitting on the shore, watching the water. Yes, she is the ocean, but she's also the shore. And she's getting a different perspective, a fresh perspective on what is to come, what she is surveying before her. And the Milky Way, when we are looking at this picture, it does have a certain, I want to say, water-like quality to it. It does look a little bit like a water, and in this case there's a big spiral, so it almost looks like a drain of some kind. Also, I'm seeing portal. And I'm feeling like it's a portal. When we think about perspective, when you're looking through, let's say a telescope lens, it's giving you a different perspective. It's narrowing the focus. So you're only, putting your concentration on this one specific area. Pay attention to everything that's going on in that area. It is a portal into a different world. It's a portal into a different time. It's a portal into a possibility and a potential. And I'm feeling that that's what the Milky Way is bringing to us this week. How can you narrow your focus from being, I am the ocean, and so that creates it's big, right? It's vast. It's sometimes can be a little overwhelming. How can I then just put the focus on one certain section and deal with that section? I feel like that's really important this week, that we are responsible for keeping ourselves in a space where we're not feeling so overwhelmed. When we do feel overwhelmed, it is our responsibility to say, okay, let's put things into perspective, what needs to stay and what needs to go, and being very clear and crisp about that. Some of us, it's harder to do that. How do you prioritize, your 3 kids? How do you prioritize your friends who are all, struggling with something? How do you prioritize your fun, your self-care and your needs when you've got, 5 deadlines at work that all just happen to come all at once, and it wasn't your fault, and it was just the way that it is, and these things need to get done? How do you prioritize? By narrowing the focus a little bit and taking one task at a time and allowing that portal of time to bring you into that one space so you can focus on getting that done, and then you go to the next, and then you go to the next. Not biting off more than you can chew. You have the power to do this. It's your responsibility, nobody else's, to do this for you. I feel like that's a real strong message. And you have the sovereignty to be able to do so. You're the queen of your own castle. You get to make decisions. You get to make the choices. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can change what's coming at you. Sometimes you can, based on the perspective that you take. Sometimes life just happens, and it's not about saying, no, that's not going to come to me. It's saying, how can I prepare best for what is presenting itself? Sometimes life just brings us the lemons, and it is our responsibility to make lemonade, or maybe to go with the Milky Way, change the drink up entirely. All right, let's pull a feather from the feather jar. We got a nice pink feather today. Heart. Love this. Okay, so when we're talking about the ocean of emotion, and we are also talking about the air, the air quality, the perspective, being able to view your feelings and emotions from that higher perspective in order to be able to move forward, you don't want to forget the inclusion of the heart in that process. The heart is in between the soul and the head. The soul, cups, energy, the ocean of emotion, the soul space, Milky Way perspective, the head area, the mind, and now we've got heart. So we've got heart, soul, mind, heart, and soul, body, mind, spirit. And I'm feeling here that the pink is really standing out to me. The pink is all about unconditional love, self-care, self-compassion, self-forgiveness. When we are in that that ocean of emotion, when we are in those spaces where we might be feeling knocked around, there might be larger waves. Sometimes it's not easy for us to put ourselves first. Sometimes it's not easy to give ourselves that forgiveness. We're all here, we're all doing the very best that we can. Sometimes our choices suck. Sometimes our choice in that moment wasn't the best choice. And, in hindsight, you're like, I wish I could have done that differently. But you didn't. And here's where you're at now in this moment. And now is all we have. And now is going to help us to move forward. So learn from the past, move forward, and forgive yourself. Because in the grand scheme of things, when you have that higher perspective, there's nothing to forgive. It's all about learning and having those different experiences, and what is it that you're learning from those experiences so that your soul can grow into its highest potential. The heart is so important. The heart is the center of it all. The heart is really what matters. So don't forget to add the heart space into it. And most of all, the message I'm hearing is that self-forgiveness piece. Self-compassion as well. Have compassion for yourself. Like I said, everyone's doing the best they can. When you're struggling, that someone else, has likely struggled as well. Maybe not with the exact scenario, but something pretty close, something pretty similar. So the heart is the solution to all of the any tumult that's happening for you. Narrowing the focus, you want to do that with heart. You want to make sure that focus is there, and that the heart, you're viewing through that telescopic lens, you're viewing it with a heart filter. You're viewing it from the space of your heart. That's going to help you with that self-compassion, self-forgiveness. And we all need that. We all need to apply that to ourselves in big, big ways. All right, guys, that is our reading for the week. As always, click that bell if you like what you see. Would love to have you continue to subscribe and be open to all of the different videos that we have being released on a weekly basis. Also, feel free to connect with me if you are feeling a little lost, feeling like maybe you're having a hard time bringing heart into the mix. Maybe you're feeling lost in your ocean of emotion and you're having a difficult time finding that perspective. Would love to be of service. I offer 30 and 60-minute readings. The Profound Experience, which is a 60-minute session, and the Essential Experience is the 30-minute session. Would love to be of service to you in this way. Please feel free to check out my website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. And I also have a Facebook page and Insta page. You can find me on the Black Feather Intuitive. I also do a show called Winged Wednesday. It's a live Facebook show, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays, and I answer 3 free questions. So come and check it out. There's always a little card reading, a general reading for everybody to sort of set the tone. And then if you have a question, submit it in the chat, and my wing woman picks questions at random. So I have no idea what is being submitted, and I'll just tune in. And if you're chosen, I tune in and I give you a reading. Would love to connect with you in that way. That's all for this week, guys. What did I say? Ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. That's all, folks. Have the most amazing week. We'll see you next time. Take care.